Welcome back, everybody. Lost Boys Cypher Circle is back in session. If you didn't know, now you do. This is the show where I bring all kinds of artists. Doesn't matter whether you're a poet or a musician or a painter or if you a conversationalist, yeah, and you just want to have a conversation. This is the place to come get your thoughts and your feelings heard, free of any judgment or anything like that. It's just a really cool environment to come hang out with other artists, connect with other artists, get feedback from other artists. And that's what we do here. Every week we connect with each other, we give each other feedback, we lift each other up, and just make each other better artists and better people in general. As I say, it's our weekly therapy session, our weekly talent show. So if you want to come on, message me on Facebook at Dylan Lawler or lostboy420x@gmail.com. That's Dylan Lawler on Facebook or lostboy420x@gmail.com. And make sure you go follow us on all platforms you can get your podcasts. Also, Facebook, obviously, both my page, the Dylan Lawler page, obviously, and also the Lost Boys group page. You can go join that on Facebook, and you can go follow us and subscribe to us everywhere else you get your podcasts: YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google, Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Samsung. Tonight and every Saturday night at 9 p.m., we go live on YouTube and Facebook in the places I just mentioned. And then the following day or a few days later, the recorded episode will upload onto Spotify and all the other places I just mentioned. So make sure y'all go check that out. And subscribe to us and like and comment and all that shit. Also, we have kind of like what I call our sister show. We've released, I believe, 6 episodes so far. Our last episode was with Lady Crucible, a regular on the show. She's a great artist, great guest. Had a lot of fun talking to her. But basically what Lost Boys Deep Cuts is it's where I get to go deeper into the hearts and the minds of the artists I bring on here, because I get to sit down with them one-on-one and have a longer discussion. And it's, typically we don't do poetry or stuff or art on there unless it, there's something that pertains to the conversation or, an artist has something that they've been wanting to share. But typically it's just a long form discussion type podcast with the artists that I bring on here. And it's a lot of fun. It's on our YouTube channel. So make sure y'all go check that out. And again, like, subscribe, comment. Also, we got a show that we just started, which is an outdoor adventure vlog, not blog, vlog. It sounds so fucking, we make fun of it in the videos too, how that word sounds like pukey, vlog. Anyway, it's an outdoor adventure vlog called Lost Boys Presents Lost in the Woods with Brandon Coombs, my producer over here, and yours truly, Dylan Lawler. We strap a GoPro to our chest and we go fishing, we go hiking, we go camping, we do that kind of stuff. So from the views I've been seeing in the comments and the likes, it's been doing good and people seem to like it. So stay tuned for more of that and make sure y'all go, again, like and subscribe. I sound like a broken fucking record. Also, you can donate to us on Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal at LostBoy420X. That's LostBoy420X. Don't forget the X, like X-Men. If you forget the X, it'll fuck up and do someone else's PayPal tag, and we don't want you paying some random strangers. So don't forget the X. That being said, that is the end of my kind of spiel. But something I do like to say before I get into every show, because it is our weekly therapy session and because we talk about a lot of mental health related topics, sometimes those topics can be triggering. And they're not meant to me. They're not meant to trigger anybody. They're just our way of expressing ourselves. But I've got feedback sometimes that some of the things on here are hard to watch, and we apologize for that. And we want to just give a quick trigger warning and say if there's anything that triggers you in the slightest, whether you be it an artist who's performing or somebody watching, feel free to click out and tune in another time. Nobody will fault you in the slightest. So there's that. And kind of piggybacking off of the mental health discussion, the point of this show for me is to kind of reach out and lift people up. to help people make, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, make them better artists, make them better people. And just reach out and just let them know that they're not alone in the world. Because that's a big problem when you're depressed or you have anxiety or you're just, struggling, is you feel like no one quite understands and no one wants to listen to you talk. And I promise you that somebody does, whether it be a coworker, a friend, me, your cat, your dog, whoever. Like, there is somebody in your life that will talk to you. And I strongly encourage you to reach out, because it is not healthy to bottle that shit up. And other people, you're not alone, because I mean, everyone's struggling and everyone feels that exact same way. And you'd be surprised how many people, once you open up and you talk about what's going on in here, relate to it. So make sure y'all reach out to the people in your lives. There's also some professional help you can seek, such as lifelinecrisis.com. They have like trained professionals on hand and other resources on their website. And you can also text them at 988 hotline. Or you can go to betterhelp.com. And that's it's basically online therapy. It's one of the cheapest forms of therapy out there, from what I've heard. And they hook you up with an online therapist in like 2 days. And if you don't like the person they hook you up with and they'll do video chat, they'll do text, they'll do call, whatever. But if you don't like the person that you're actually talking to, they'll switch it out free of charge until you find someone you actually vibe with. Because that's the most important thing about therapy, is having someone you actually enjoy talking to and can actually vent your problems to. So make sure y'all go help, check them out if you're seeking professional help. And yeah, I hope some people find some help there. That being said, let's move on with the show. During the show, if you want to ask us anything, questions, comments, concerns, whatever, random comments about Hitler, which we got two weeks ago or last week for some weird reason. Anyway, if you want to drop any of that stuff in the comments, it's welcome. Just don't be a dick. Yeah. So let's get on with the show. For our first guest tonight, I don't have a flyer for him. I don't even have an intro for him, because he doesn't need one. He doesn't need a flyer. He doesn't need an intro. You're gonna know who he is within the first 3 seconds of him opening his mouth. And I say it time and time again, he's one of the best I've ever met, best artist I've ever met, let alone on this show. He's a regular on this show. And he's just literally been a backbone and such a support to this show. Like, he's basically my co-host at this point. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce those who don't know him to Mr. Cage C. And y'all can follow on TikTok at Cage.
What's good, man? Who's up?
We
How
already
you been?
Hitler. God damn it. I shouldn't have opened
It's okay. It's, you know what? I just
listen. You can't be demonetized when you're not monetized in the first place. So it's fine. Like, this isn't monetized at all. I make $0. I'm actually losing dollars. So it's actually negative monetization. They can't make it even worse.
You know, Hitler was a painter, Dylan. He could have been here.
Fucking
Hitler, he was a painter. He could have been here. He wrote a book.
All right. Anyway, let's get off of Hitler. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing fantastic, actually. I've been in such a good headspace. I mean, what I'm gonna sing today ain't gonna seem like that, but that's just because those are the pieces I want to do. I haven't done them in a while.
Yeah, no, I feel
but
that.
I'm doing fantastic.
Yo, I gotta tell you, man. I went to the grocery store the other day, right? And as I'm getting out of my car, the old secretary from one of the schools that I went to is coming through the parking lot. And she's like, hey, I follow you. I keep up with you on the show and whatnot. And then she leans into me and she's like, listen, I know it's not really your thing, but at some point I'd like to see you write something happy and upbeat. And I'm just like, listen, just because it's like, that's just the stuff that I write, it's the stuff that I write just tends to be in the darker nature, the darker side of things.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm just like, I'm dying and I'm going to fucking whatever. I mean, there's parts of that, but
it's easier to release a negative emotion than a positive emotion, because there is just so much like negative you can say over a positive mindset. But that just could just be how I was brought up. But recently
I,
I've been making more uppity music.
well, I got one. I got one tonight that is a direct. So
Get
it
up,
is a
dog.
direct. It is a
Get up.
direct answer to the lady, and I'll get into that later. But to my old secretary. But I mean, it's just yeah. No, I think there's something to that. It, I find it much easier to talk about negatives and delve into the darkness than like because and I kind of think of it this way: is falling is easier than climbing, right?
Yep.
And you're falling into the darkness, whereas you're climbing into the light. That's the way I see it. And climbing into the light is a lot harder than falling into the darkness. So it's always easy to sit down with the pen and just let yourself fall, right? But it's hard to
Mm-hmm.
make that steady trek up. You know,
Dang.
that's the way I
But it's healthy to do it that way because if you don't get that emotion out, that could turn into anger, violence, all kinds of things. So it's a really healthy way to get that negative emotion out.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's like you were saying, like that is what art is for. And just because you're get it right, just because you're spitting a negative piece doesn't mean you have a negative mindset. Oftentimes it means the opposite because you have worked through and gotten out that chaos in your writing. So now you're in a better mindset than you were before you wrote it.
Get the fuck out, dog.
Fuck.
Dog.
Get the
In here
fuck out,
making
dog.
noise.
Shit. Oh, well, I mean, I told them where to follow you, but if there's anything else you want to say about yourself, we got some new guests on here tonight. Go
I
for it, man.
this piece I'm about to do, there are three perspectives in one. I'm schizophrenic, so if you seem lost while I'm spitting it, you're kind of supposed to be.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, what's it called, man?
The tour.
The tour. All right. Let's take a tour, guys.
This is just a tour of the way my brain works, like shattered glass enhanced to project holograms to see myself third person in three versions. Instead of reflect internal monologue and confused anagrams, I stand tall against a wall you probably couldn't comprehend. I'm a fan of my own demise, like contortion rises and commotion waved in like the ocean, causing riptides to suck me in. This mad rush of adrenaline, talking in riddles, forcing static in my ears through a sneer. I'm not nice. I rise to lies for some conversations like manipulation. I enjoyed forced tears to the eyes, and when people die, you'd see me laughing in disguise. It's another one. To fantasize is to bring alive. I strive to create, but patiently wait to a rhyme, and lost thought bubbles to rise so I could feel in control to the motion that blisters like fire. It's my desire for satire. Or liars whose words never tire. They conspire with needles, that red milligrams full of toxins to admire. I sit where the next willow stands with knife engraved markings to make room for the mistakes that I've shoved in the dirt and forgot, but it lurks like venom coursing through wounds from a snake bite, and I always feel I might die soon. Depression's impression forced a lesson I can't take back, so I learned it from taking skin back like red ribbons. If you listen, you'd know I wrestle sleepless nights with a champion's belt. I contemplate my fears, but I don't confront them. I think about how I could die tonight, but I see my children and steer clear of the fights. I have a fear of the frights, talking large, sick of using the might. Psych. I laugh at the sight. Those thoughts hung up like a kite. These words that I write, hate spears and clamps these lures in tight. This pure insight, but holds a future claim bright. My future is sealed like a devious critter that's bitter. You didn't ask why, but because his brain bleeds a liter per liter, a meter per hour, tethered on malice. How has he stood so long through the battles he's lost? Rattle the earth per step like it's just a broken ladder. He sinks fangs like a devilish adder, and if you're the enemy, then the amount of venom doesn't matter. I operate off the darkest matter. I mix it together like the philosopher's stone, so you best bet I have that immortal fever. Immaculate imagination spreads far like my contagions have my mortality severed. The totality of it is you've seen three persons' perspectives. Read close, you'll see the connection. Verse changed when you ignored it the last second. My armor's not dented. Say what you want, my demeanor's demented. This space that I own, best believe I took it over. It's rented. Just know this is just a tour of the way my brain works, like shattered glass, enhanced to project holograms to see myself third person in three versions. Instead, I reflect internal monologue and confused anagrams, and I stand tall against a wall you probably couldn't comprehend. You see, I'm a fan of my own demise. It's like the contortion rises and that commotion waved in like the ocean. It causes riptides to suck me in. This mad rush of adrenaline, it's talking in riddles. It's forcing static in my ear through a sneer. I'm not nice.
Whoo! God damn, you got it right, Brandon. Whoo! Yeah, can we get some fucking fire emojis, please, and then some fire trucks to put them out because we don't want our whole fucking production getting
I'm
fucking.
sorry, I don't even
Burn the
got a
lights
fire
down.
extinguisher, bro.
Burn the whole fucking set down, you fucking asshole.
Hell yeah, bro.
No,
Oh,
dude, I tell you every time, bro. Your shit is so fucking fire, and it pushes the boundaries of what fucking lyric to me, what lyricism can be like, and what and not only what lyricism can be, but what the inner process of dealing with your inner demons can be. Like you handle things from such a crazy perspective, and the way you're able to internalize and obviously with your schizophrenia, a lot of people from what I know aren't as self-aware and as able to, you know, go inward and really see all the sides of themselves and the way they affect their life and really delve that deep into it. Like, and I see people have to go back and watch the other episodes, but I see like the evolution of all the pieces you've done and how, because you say all the time that your pieces connect too, but how
creates an epic. I be
they
Homer
lead,
in this bitch.
they lead into that. And it is for me like that is like you know that piece I have, Speaking of Demons, where it's just the inner
Yep,
dialogue with myself. Like,
yep.
to me, an inner dialogue with oneself, an open and honest inner dialogue with oneself, is the purest form of art and the purest form of self-expression and self-care that,
Oh, it's
that
important.
one can experience, in my opinion. And you just handle it so elegantly. It's just fucking phenomenal, dude. It's just so phenomenal.
I appreciate you, but that's facts. Internal monologue is such an important factor. Being able to talk to yourself is, I think, the greatest way you can comprehend anything. All right, like just speaking out loud to yourself. Like, you ever feel like you have so much thought you have to speak out loud just to figure it out?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
that type of, and I like to take that specific space when I write, and when I take that specific space and I put it on the paper, I can then go back into my brain and I could hear all these voices telling me what to put down because I'm already on a roll, right? So I need silence. I can't even hear myself speak.
Yo, I feel that so much. And I see, especially sorry. I feel that especially when I'm writing, as if like I can't get the words that like the words are literally being screamed or said in my head faster than I can get them out onto the paper. Like, a lot of the time I use speech to text, and I tell you, man, today I I might have some problems when I go back to work because I spent almost my entire shift today writing this fucking verse. And so it's either going to be people calling saying the cashier's mumbling to himself, or her watching the cameras and seeing that I was like grabbing notepads and just jotting shit down all day and fucking, or like going and fucking typing it on my phone real quick or whatever. Like but I had to do this verse, was just I had to get it
It
out.
was, if
And
you're
then
talking about that one piece, it's so good, Dylan. It's so good.
that's the part I'm gonna try to do tonight. I do try because
I believe.
I'm
I
still working.
believe.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. But yeah, no, I like today. I guess what I was trying to say is that today I felt like those voices were just so fucking loud in my head, and it's just so hard to shut out. Like I couldn't. You know what I mean? I had to get them out. I had to get the voices out. I know that sounds sick and demented, but Sick makes it sound like there's a cure. I'm twisted. I stole. I'll give credit where credit is due. I
My
stole that. I stole that from my older brother. But
my demeanor's diminished. I have a song that says that my demeanor's diminished.
I know that one. Yeah, I know that one. But yo, that for real, bro. That was just so dope and such a elaborate and complex tour of your mind. And I loved it, man. I want to see what these other guys think, or guys and then girl. Hey, what y'all think?
Hey, that piece took me on a journey. Like it really made me. How can I put it? Like I don't fight. I don't run from the demons that live in me no more. Like I've learned to coexist. So listening to that piece is like, all right, cool. Dudes understand what I go through. That battle inside, man. That was a dope piece, man.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Shay, what'd you think?
I think it was dope. I think that it's very important to acknowledge your light and your dark, and sometimes you feel more one than the other. So, for what you wrote, it's deep. Like we can see and feel your pain, and that's what art is about. So I liked it.
Sure is. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Tariq, what'd you think?
Yeah, I have a profound appreciation for sort of stream of consciousness purging, if you will,
You,
right? And the way that you kind of layer that, because oftentimes what happens is in the aftermath of actually doing that, allowing that free flow to happen, there are a lot of really valuable nuggets that are tucked in between the layers of that stream that's coming out. It's kind of kind of nuanced in there, so you can always go back through and even find other places to write into to take it even to a deeper level and understand yourself a lot better. So I really commend you for just kind of getting in the headspace to allow it to flow.
it's a hard thing to do too. Sometimes I make nonsense and it like nothing works. So whenever I do have them streams of consciousness, I like that line, stream of consciousness. It's said all the time. I like it. But I appreciate it. I really do. I'm glad that I'm able to do it in some sort of space. It gets a lot out. It gets a lot out. All right, I gotta take care of some kids real quick, but I'm still gonna be here. I gotta go handle these kids.
You're good, man. We'll catch you again in a few minutes. All right, y'all. That being said, that's going to bring us to our second artist of the night. He's been on before. I believe his last time he was on, his performance got interrupted because we had a medical emergency. No, it's okay, Brandon. Brandon says sorry, but we're not gonna hold a medical emergency against him. That's ridiculous. Anyway, but he's back now. We got Mr. Podkram the Poet on the show. Y'all can go follow him on Facebook at Podkram the Poet. That's PAWCRAM DAPOET. That's DAPOET, all one word. And Podkram stands for Proof a Woman Can Raise a Man, which I fucking love because I was raised by a single mother myself. Anyway, you can follow him also on Instagram at The Real Podkram. That's DA_real_Podkram. You can follow him on TikTok at Cram Sessions. That's C.R.A.M Sessions. You can also go and check out his YouTube. He is the host of the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge. Say that 5 times fast. It's a podcast that's similar to this one. He does a lot of different stuff than just art and poetry and whatnot. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a new show. I've been loving what he's been doing with it so far. And you guys can go check that out on the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge YouTube channel, or you can go to Facebook and join the Louisiana Lyricist Lounge Facebook group. How many times am I going to have to say that tonight? Facebook group. Or you can join or you can go to his Facebook group and follow him at Podkram the Poet. He's also the host of a open mic show called Smoke and Word. That's Smoke hyphen N hyphen word, smoking word. Very clever. I like what you did there. It's an open mic presented by Epiphany Radio, the For Real Entertainment Network. You can go check that out on blogtalkradio.com/IC people. That's EYE, the letter C, people. Or you can call in at 319-527-6300. And yeah, I'm going to play his flyer and get him up here. Huh? There's his flyer. Where is this? There you go.
So you mad, huh? Yeah, you mad. You mad because I'm not who you tried to make me out to be. You're mad because I have overcome every obstacle that you have purposely placed in my path with the intention of killing my destiny. You see, I've waited many years past the age that you had the audacity to say that I will probably be dead or completely locked away because being a fucker flows through my veins because of DNA passed on my thought. Chip off the old block, they used to smile and say. Even told me that I was genetically destined to be nothing more than a motherfucking statistic. Bitch, are you serious?
Hey man, how you doing?
What's good? What's good? Hey, let me say something really, really quick. Brandon, there is absolutely no reason to apologize, bro. Like that wasn't on you. That was a medical emergency. I'm just glad to see that you're feeling better, man.
I'm good, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Did you hear him?
Yeah,
The mic
yeah.
is kinda, all right, word. Yeah, man. No, you're good. And listen, man, he props to Brandon too, because he has been here without fail for this is our 43rd episode. We're going on a year. We're going on a full year. July 20th. Yeah, July 20th will be our 1 year anniversary and the season 2 premiere and our 50th episode. All three at once. So yeah. And Brandon stuck around through the whole thing. So yeah, props to him. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate that. But hey, man, anything I didn't get to in the intro or anything you want to talk about yourself or whatever, feel free.
Oh no, man! You said everything. I feel good. That was great. I'm actually the co-host of Louisiana Lyricist Lounge. I do have a co-host by the name of Imuna J, another dope artist, man. So I'm definitely gonna have to link y'all to. So.
Hell yeah! No, I'll definitely love to have him on here. Just yeah, send me links or have him message me or whatever, and we'll link up. I'm always looking for new artists. I'm always looking for new artists.
No doubt,
for sure.
Dope.
But yeah, man, it's great to have you back again.
Thank you.
So I mean, if there's any, sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. Anything else? If there's anything else you wanted to promote, that you got going on before we get into your first piece, you got, or did I cover the whole list?
Yeah, you covered everything.
You got everything. All right, cool. I just want to make sure you get your light, man. All right, cool, man. So, what's the first piece we're gonna get into tonight?
All right, so the first piece that I'm gonna do is called 21. I wrote it because I have a cousin, Crystal Valerie. Shout out to Crystal Valerie, who just lost her son. He was 21 years old. He lost him on New Year's Eve, and she's in an uphill battle right now, getting justice or whatever. But 21 just seems to be an age that a lot of us as Black males is like it's a goal to make it to 21, And so I wrote this piece in memory of him.
Fantastic. Well, I just wanted to put this up here real quick. Rest in peace. And my heart goes out to you and my condolences. So and you know what, man, I've had many friends pass away, one of the closest being my own mother, and I found it very hard to write about those deaths and or dedicate really anything, just not because I don't care, because I care so much, and it's hard to express those feelings properly. So I commend you for writing a piece for that. So yeah, man. All right, I'll get myself out of here and let you get to it.
21 years. Society has convinced us as young black males to believe that making it to this age should be considered a badge of honor. And every moment after should be considered borrowed time. And guess what? I made it. I made it to 21. But the time that I was told could be borrowed was short-lived because my life was also stolen at 21. 21 years. 21 years is all I had, and someone decided that my existence was no longer needed. So they erased the physical me, leaving my essence to live on as tear stains on the face of my mother. Her membership has just been approved to a club she's never expressed interest in. A group of grieving black mothers calling out to sons that can no longer answer, but I heard her. My mother cried my name out loud, and I heard her. She was in a dark room all alone when she finally allowed herself to break down, not due to being weak, but because all week she had to be strong for everyone else that was around. You see, I heard her cry out to the top of her lungs and say, 21 years. Lord, you only loaned him to me for 21 years. You prepared my heart to love him for a lifetime, but allowed him to leave a crater in my soul only 21 years deep with no instructions on how it's supposed to be filled. Those were the words my mother cried out about me. And all I could do was scream. I screamed, Mama, Mama, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was taken from you. Please, please don't cry. My words, she could not hear, but I know my touch could be felt. Because when I tried to wipe her eyes, I saw her smile as a cool breeze removed the single tear that escaped from her soul's window. I'm with you, Mama. Forever your guardian angel. Forever I'll be in your heart. And forever 21, I will be in your memories. In peace.
God damn, bro. God fucking damn. That was super fucking deep and super emotional. As I was saying before, you did the piece. I lost my mother, and she was my best friend, my best friend in the fucking world. And so just that the way, oh man, the way you described the mother's pain, it broke me, man. And then you broke down, and you could hear in your voice and your performance, and it was just like, it hit me, man. It hit me hard. That was fucking amazing. That was amazing. And gut wrenching. And hard, very hard to listen to. That's one of those pieces that, like, I'm gonna hear once and it's gonna stick with me, but I don't need to hear it again. You know what I mean? Because if I hear it again, it's gonna make me cry. But yeah, it fucking. I mean, I say that, but I go back and listen to all this shit over and over again. I listen to the show and everybody's pieces just to absorb shit deeper. So I will end up going back and listening to it again and probably crying over some bourbon. But that piece, man, was just gut wrenching and but such a beautiful tribute as well. Though it was like very sad and emotional, it was a beautiful tribute and very worthy. It for some reason, and I don't know if this is just because like he was a black man who passed away at 21 or an artist who passed away at 21 or whatever, but it reminded me of Juice WRLD and a lot of the interviews that I've seen with his mother, and just the way that she talks about him and just I mean, you can see the pain in that woman's eyes when she talks. And yeah, Juice WRLD has this, man, he wrote this song before he died, and it was he has a line where he says, what's the 27 club? We ain't making it past 21. And then he passed away at 21, which is fucking mind blowing. But I mean, the 27 Club is crazy too, because you got all those artists that all died at that same age, and it kind of reminded me of that Kurt Cobain and Janis Joplin and what I don't know if maybe I think Jimi Hendrix was part of that. I'm not maybe not, but it was definitely Kurt Cobain, Janis Joplin, and a few others. And yeah, it had that that kind of vibe, that kind of tone for me. But yeah, that was just fantastic piece, beautiful piece.
Thank you.
I'm gonna bring these other guys up to see what they thought about it. What do y'all think, Shay?
I think it was very, very like emotional and like from a place of like deep understanding, or just showing everybody what you went through or what you felt like your mom went through, and it was just deep. I like deep shit, so like I think that your piece was good. It was really good, really emotional, really thought provoking, emotional. Just like he said, it makes you not want to hear it, but like you want to hear it again. So
yeah,
thumbs up. I like it.
Man, you read that so well, my guy. Like, I can't stomach that thought. And my mom's getting up there at that age, And I lost my grandma when I was 21, and she was before my mom, and I was kind of in this trap situation. That was nice, and you read that so well. I could feel the emotion. That was crazy. Your energy in that piece was astounding. Good job. Like 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
Phenomenal. Yeah, Tariq.
So first of all, you had me at proof a woman can raise a man. Because in all the times that I've seen you on Instagram, social media, I saw the name, but I never knew what it stood for. So yeah, I was hooked there. But I think it's a painfully beautiful elegy, a beautiful tribute, and it speaks to the harsh realities of being Black and male in America, and the kind of lowered expectations that we not have to, but are pressured to sort of internalize, about ourselves and what we can expect out of life. Just a beautiful, really beautiful tribute. I liked the wordplay, particularly the ending of it, the Forever 21 line.
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, man, that was just fantastic, so phenomenal, and I am so glad that I got you back on the show, man, because you are honestly one of the best artists I've met, and best artists on the internet right now, and I mean, Tariq has seen you guys haven't even connected, but Tariq's seen you around the internet. I mean, like you definitely
he doesn't know it, but like Tariq is legendary to me. Like when I see anything dealing with him, like dude is the man. So
yeah.
like when I saw him, I'm like, shit, he on the show. Like, oh, this is gonna be dope.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I saw I came across his show, which I'll talk about in a minute, but it's the Self-Care Sunday. That's what it's called.
Correct. Yeah. We ended it a couple weeks ago, but yeah.
Oh, you did? Yeah. So I came across his Self-Care Sunday show, and it reminded me just a lot of what I do, and just in the essence and the soul of it. And I was just like, well, this guy's fucking great. I got to get this guy on here. And along with God, there's a few other people who were on your show. Lady
Siren,
Yogi
John,
yeah.
Mahogany Soul, Edwina, and
that's a beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's that. See, I'm definitely trying to get those people on my show. There's just some phenomenal artists. So yeah, that's where I found him, and it's just fucking. I'm so happy that you agreed to come on here, man. It's so great.
Absolutely, it's an honor.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to our third guest of the night, um, being Miss Lady Shay over here. Um, Shay is a poet and an author. You can follow her on Facebook at, I love this, Slim Shady. It's spelled SLIMSH SHAYDEE. Just phenomenal wordplay. I love that. Go follow her on Facebook at Slim Shady, or on WordPress.com at Bacon the Writer. Yes, Bacon the Writer. So that's just like Bacon the Food, the Writer, at WordPress.com. And I'm gonna play her flyer and get her up here. Hey,
Hey,
thanks for coming on the show.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm sorry it took so long.
No, it's okay. For honestly, all week I thought you had been on the show before, and then you reminded me before the show that you hadn't. We had talked, and you had tried to come on a couple times, and I hadn't been able to. But I had all your information and everything, so that made me think that. Oh, but yeah, no.
I know we
Welcome,
did everything, but yeah.
welcome to the circle. I always point to this side, or I always point to this side, and I get it wrong. But
Oh,
welcome
no
to
worries.
Lost
I'm still
Boys
trying to
Cypher
get my
Circle.
angles. I'm still trying to get my angles right, so we're good.
Yeah. Well, I have no excuses. This is 43 week. Well, 43 some odd weeks in the making. So I gotta get my shit together here. Anyway, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm nervous as shit, but I'm good.
Don't be.
I
It's
don't
like I
really
said.
share my poems work with people or anything, but it's time,
Yeah, I
to
feel
get
you.
out there. So I'm excited but nervous, but I'm good. I like the show. Everybody's dope.
See, I mean, I try to make the vibe. I try to make the vibe like we're sitting in the living room with our friends. And then for me, and I set that vibe by getting my best friend Brandon in here. He sits down on my couch, and I sit down in my chair, and we're just two friends chilling in our living room. And,
Just
I try to bring that vibe to the show. Um, so don't be nervous. Like I said at the beginning, it's a place to just come and chill and relax and vibe and share your thoughts and your feelings without anybody judging you. I sure as fucking hope nobody judges me, because I'm about to fucking. This piece is either gonna be the best shit you ever heard or the fucking bomb ass shit you ever heard.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, but no judgment. We don't judge here. So, yeah.
Okay.
Anything you want to say about yourself before we get started with your first piece?
No. Well, really, my first piece is something I just write and write and write, and I went through some stuff to make it, like, it was hard. Like my creativity was like gone, but this still, it reminds me of how to get back to where I was, and it's called Forgotten Steps, and it's on my computer, so I'm gonna try to swipe down to make sure it flows, but bear
You're
with
good.
me.
All right, I'll get myself out of here. Forgotten Steps.
Catching a flow, but losing the grace. No natural fluidity. Body sways awkwardly. Back bends stiffly against an elusive beat. My feet can't catch the groove to move in place. It's all wrong. I've danced to the rhythm of your song for so long. My own has become fragmented cadences of a beautiful song. Short and sweet.
Ooh, okay. I wasn't expecting it to be just that short, but all right. I like it.
I didn't expect
It's short and
everybody to
sweet.
be so long.
It is. I like it. Short and sweet. Short and sweet. No, I mean, listen, people have done everything on here from 30 seconds to what did that guy read for? He was reading fiction, but he read for like 20 minutes a couple weeks ago. Oh my God. It was great. It was an
Yeah.
awesome story, but it was like, holy shit. Wow. He's reading us a whole novel here. But yeah, no, any length of piece is welcome, but that is,
But like, yeah, I can do
it
longer.
was short and
It's some
sweet, but that was
short and
phenomenal. I like the cadence of it. I like the emotion behind it. I like how it kind of felt almost like a journal entry. Well, somewhere between a journal entry and like a letter, but I can't tell what type of letter. Like I'm trying to find the words to describe what kind of letter. Not I don't know. Not a goodbye letter, not a thank you letter, not a I'm sorry letter, but like a mixture of the three somehow, just kind of like
it's
but
like a realization, really like a reflection. You
right,
realize that you gave so much of yourself to
right,
someone and you forgot. So,
right. And it
yeah, I get
feels
what you mean. Yeah. I
right,
didn't
yeah,
know what it was. I just wrote it.
kind of feel. I guess what I was trying to say is it feels like a letter of acceptance and goodbye to someone else, but a letter of apology to yourself. In a way,
Yeah.
so you're kind of speaking outward, but you're also speaking inward at the same time, and I really liked how you did that. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah. I think, yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
phenomenal.
That's
Thank you so
exactly what
much.
it was. Thank you.
I'm gonna bring our other artists up here and see what they thought about it. Parkram, what'd y'all think? What'd you think? Oh, you're muted, bro.
My bad.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, when you were speaking about the piece, you said something about a letter. I was like, man, exactly. That sounds like my mom does that. Like she writes letters to herself, things of that nature. And the piece was so reflective. I was just like, man, I like her. Like immediately, I'm listening to the piece. I'm like, yeah. And I went her to found her on Facebook. I'm like, yep, we add her. Like I like her. She's yeah. I don't know why you was nervous though, sweetie. You dope.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Caleb, what'd you think, my man?
Thank you.
My connection cut out. I just went to go and fix it, and I wasn't. I
Shit.
will listen to it. Yeah, I will hear it though because I do watch these episodes every time they end.
Hey, that gives
So-
me a cheap plug. This show is recorded, and you can go watch it after it's done live streaming on our
But I
YouTube
will-
channel. Go like it, watch it, and subscribe to it.
I will definitely see it though.
Yeah, y'all go check it out afterwards. Tariq, what'd you think?
I heard not only the reclamation, like, retrieving yourself and the parts and pieces that you've given to another individual, but also a lot of self-acceptance, which I think is extremely important because in many situations, the reasons that we end up losing ourselves and giving so much away to these other people is because we've lacked self-acceptance. And there's this subconscious belief that if I am accepted by this other individual, then that means I'm all right and I can accept myself then. But the journey really starts with you accepting you so that you don't fall into the trap of thinking that you need this other individual in the first place, So I really like just that running theme of radical self-acceptance and writing the letter to whatever version may exist inside, that may have gotten stuck in a moment, that may have gotten stuck in an experience, that may have gotten caught up in something external, and just sort of really returning to the center and getting grounded. And that's what I heard in the poem. I really like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
think that's completely true. Exactly, and it is a journey of everybody has childhood trauma that they go through, and you have to be aware in order to solve that. And if not, you just keep going through the same patterns or meeting the same people or doing the same thing. So once you finally accept that, and for me, writing does that, like lets me know that that chapter, that version of me is done. I love her. I thank her.
and
But
I think that the essence of art, and I think that the essence of life in general, is using our mistakes and our darkness and the things we've been through and learning from them and using them as fuel, for the fire, both in our art and just our everyday life. I think that's like really, people are always like, oh, what's the meaning, like questioning the meaning of life. And to me, I just think that it's simple, is to learn and evolve. And that is my meaning of life, is to learn from every experience, good or bad, and evolve from it. And that's all you can do as a person,
That's roll over. So yeah, I feel that completely. Yeah. But thank you all.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with us. We'll catch you again in a few minutes for your next piece.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, guys.
Ooh, it's time.
Hey, we're gonna bring a legend up here. Let me get to his intro here. All right, Tariq Sankofa. Oh God, Tariq Sankofa. I believe I'm saying that right. Sorry if I butchered it. He's a poet, an educator, and a humanist. Again, I butcher. I don't know what I'm doing being a writer, because I butcher the fuck out of words, but he's that. And you can follow him at Saint Sankofa. That's Saint _ Sankofa. Subscribe to him on YouTube at the Sankofa Collective. That's where the show we were talking about that I mentioned earlier, Self Care Sunday. I believe he just ended it, like he said, but go and watch all, I think like 40 something episodes of it. And they're great episodes, man. I think I've only watched like maybe 5 or 6 of them myself, so I got a lot to catch up on. So make sure y'all go check that out, and give him a like, give him a follow, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and catch him here on the show. And let me get his flyer up. And hey, how you doing? I'm loving your flyer. That's new like music that I'm testing out for flyers. You're the first person I've used it with, and that I'm vibing with that. It's a good intro for you.
I like it. And you were saying the name correctly. Sankofa. Yeah.
Sankofa. All right, good. Well, thanks for coming, man. It's fucking an honor to have you.
Absolutely. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anything I didn't talk about in the intro or anything, I mean, feel free to just tell us about yourself. Your first time guest.
Like you said, I'm Tariq. I am joining you all tonight from small town, North Carolina, a little small town called Chocowinity. It's 800 people, 2 stoplights, and a liquor store.
That's even smaller than mine. My town's like maybe 1,500.
No, we don't have that many.
1,500. Yeah, we got a few stores, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm a poet, spoken word artist, college English professor, and I love art. I love sharing my work. Not a whole lot of things to promote going on right now. I've kind of backed off and really taken a break from doing shows and things of that nature, just to sort of give myself some time to heal. I'm on vacation for a couple months, so I really wanted to just have some time to myself to sit back and really, do some introspection and work on me. So yeah,
that's good. That's important, man. I mean, I think that's the thing that struck me the most about your show. Self Care Sunday is. It's all about self-care. And I think that's one of the most important things as an artist and as a person, is you have to take care of yourself before you can help anyone else. And that includes making art to present to other people. You can't make, you got to take care of yourself. A healthy mind space is key to a healthy life.
Absolutely.
I firmly believe that. So I appreciate you for kind of being a proponent of that. Yeah. Again, and thank you for coming on the show. What's this first piece where?
It's Who Got the Body?
Who got the body? All
Yeah.
right.
So as I told you, I'm from the country. Well, I live here. I won't say I'm from it, but I live here. And in the South, whenever we lose someone, and people want to know, they're trying to find out information on the burial. They want to know which funeral home is responsible for preparing the body for burial. They'll ask the question in the way that I've titled the poem, "Who Got the Body?" And so that's sort of the underlying theme of the piece that I want to share tonight.
All right. I'll drop myself out of here and let you get to it, man.
All right. And this piece also speaks to just where I am and what has been the central focus of my current healing journey. So, who got the body? The question asked in every Black passing to determine who gets to dress up the dead, paint our faces to make us look like the living as service to our send-off. Who got the body? Who possesses the repossessed, taken back by a God who recalls us for faulty functioning, exhausted wear and tear, war-torn time travel? Who adorns us, dusts us over in the newfound but final fondness of ugly foundation? Who folds our fingers into prayer as a sign we are hoping in the next life to belong to ourselves? In my childhood, I belonged to everybody. They told me who to be and who I dare not. My father cautioned me, threatened me against failure, against presenting the worst possibilities of my person in the world, trained me to try and try again, accepting that anything less than success would make me worthless. Caution, threatened me with punishment, lorded over my masculinity with caveats of conditional castration, turned me into one of his women, his second seat servant, silent subject, dared me to have a dick, dominated me with speechlessness and special attention to my need to know that the only man of the house was him. Is the lady of the house home? Certainly we are. One of us born with a womb to birth bodies, not assigned the same schedule of corporeal deference as herself. One of us carved out in the middle of his body. My father was a surgeon who specialized in the removal of scrotums. He took the most precious gift I own, including my desire to father, because fathers walk the world with bloody hands and carry our genitalia as talisman around their necks, as brutal badges of honor, stylized as special kinds of noose, who never learn to hang the men who lynch us. Who got the body? He do. They do. Who do, in the words of men with cursing mouths, who condition us to hate whole childhoods, to envy actual children. They got the body. Father and fear, who grip us about the neck, occasionally allowing gasps of air to feed their need for living signifiers of supremacy. The hands of a father are a boogeyman, a nighttime revelation that fear never sleeps. Fear is the hardest working man alive, because there is always so much more life to take, so much surrender to commandeer, so much potential to swallow whole. Fear, the insatiable chupacabra sucking the blood of sheep through straws. I have a hole in the bottom of my belly for it now. I make it easy for them. And sometimes I call the sensation butterflies just before exsanguination, draining when I am made one of the untouchable undead. The hands of a father are the fearful folklore of family, creating all the omens of our sick psychology, all the what will happen if I try and do not triumph. Tooth fairies knocking all the teeth from our mouths and telling us to put them under our pillows as reminders that they are the Lord of our words. Who got the body? They do. Fear and the fathers. When I was 9, I saw my father naked and knew I was not a man. I wonder now if time intends such moments as surgical stratagem, that we are required to be eternally emotionally infantile, and that we can never be as big as our first glimpse of our fathers in the world. Who got the body? They do. Fear and the fathers. I am the product of two surgeon fathers, one who taught me a man has the right to refuse paternity if it suits his preference for color of skin, the other who taught me a man is given the privilege of exercising his demons on all the world around him, of creating for himself a house full of eunuchs, servants who breathe only to make him a master. Who got the body? I have walked this world with a barren womb because in hysteria over his own creation, my father cut away my imaginary uterus and left me a body without future fruit. I had my first hysterectomy in Beth Israel Hospital 5 minutes after my face split my mother open to tell her, no matter what they say, it's a girl. There are limited spaces available for men. Some women birth boys, whom the fathers transmute to reconsider truth as soon as the boy within them senses the threat of an heir, a mandate to one day abdicate to better versions of themselves. The surgical procedure that followed proceeded to sterilize me at 5, when the after-father frowned at what he feared was forming in my flesh, my potential to flower. So he polluted all my pollen and left me with a stigma. I am a sterilized bouquet of ungerminated seeds. Fathers are not without fear. That's the reason they walk the world with tongue-sized machetes and 2 strong hands. They build mute-mouthed monuments to themselves inside us, turn us to stone. I bear the burden of many men on my back. I carry monumental memories of men who forgot themselves, who got the body. Last night, my fathers visited me in dreams, and even with dead cold hands, reached again for a sliver of meat, a meal for themselves in the afterlife of their prestigious legacy of executive excisions. But I've been placing myself on the altar of my paternity as a burnt offering for nearly 5 decades, and there is no more meat to eat, no more ancestor honor, no more honorific prayer, and only the horror of this blood ritual we call unrequited love. Did you know that your first broken heart comes in the form of the disappointment you lock deep inside yourself when you don't live up to the expectations you have been told you better not disappoint? Your first love was a father, and then they build their gods and call them father too to reinforce the fear. Last night, my fathers told me the answer to the question Black folks keep asking each time they see my dead and decaying dreams. Who got the body? They do. Them. Fathers and fear have always had us all. Poem.
God fucking damn. You need to be on a fucking, man, you need to be on a stage. This man needs to be, we should be backing truckloads of fucking medals up to this man's door. You just fucking, I don't even know where to start. I guess the most astounding thing to me is just your wordplay and your metaphors and just how visceral of a picture that they create. I mean, that was phenomenal, and it was a journey. The whole thing was a journey, and it took me, like it was a story, and it took me on this like crazy journey from start to finish. I was just locked in and just exploring these. I'm the type of person that words create pictures in my head. Whether I'm reading a book or whatever, it becomes a movie in my head. And just basking in the fucking amazingness of the pictures you created with your words and your metaphors, especially your metaphors. I mean, god damn, I was just sitting there in fucking awe of your metaphors. Man, just jaw-dropping performance, jaw-dropping everything, just all around fucking phenomenal, dude. It was emotional and visceral and fucking so intellectual, like beyond intellectual, beyond the point of fucking reason, like intellectual to the point of like these are the conversations I don't have until like midnight with really really close friends type of fucking like that it was that personal and that visceral and felt that intimate. It was just fucking phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. I myself had I grew up, like I said, I grew up with a single mother. And it's funny, one of the lines you said about fathers being the name for God, my mom actually used to say this thing that I don't know where she got it, but she said mother is a name for God in the lips and mouths of all children. And so that part of it kind of related, made me think of that. But also she was engaged to this man for a long time that was let's just say not very nice to me. And he expected perfection to the absolute, like to absolute absurdity. I mean, to like, and I'm talking like a 5-year-old cleans his room and misses a speck of dust on the floor, perfection. Like that kind of absurd fucking, and he's not around anymore. He actually killed himself, but I think he was around till I was about 10 or 13, somewhere around there. And it was just this constant presence in my life of like, I can never I will never meet up to this standard. I will never be good enough. And I think that's growing up with him, you know, as a stepfather. I think that that's where I get my perfectionist with my art and my artwork, and my writing and all the stuff that I do, even with the show, and making people's flyers, like to the point where like I'll you know, when I'm making you guys' flyers, if the words aren't centered or the picture doesn't come in at the same time as the words when they flow in on the, like, my OCD goes crazy. And I think it's because he just drilled me to that absolute standard of perfection. And that's something I like that you illustrated in your piece. I related to a lot.
Yeah, I hear that. My stepfather was actually retired Navy, and he was very militarily precise. I was just so I wholeheartedly believe in vulnerability in your creativity. If you're not going to be vulnerable, there's no point in doing it, right? Who benefits from it? If it's not honest and it's not vulnerable. And so these are often conversations that I end up having with my therapist. And just like you were just explaining, he drilled so many things in my head, and I'm only just now starting to be aware of the way in which they've impacted me, like making me a perfectionist, like what you were just describing with the cleaning and don't leave a speck of dust. Because as I was telling my therapist the other day, like my Saturday mornings, I've never known what it was like to sleep in. I don't sleep in. I'm awake at 4 a.m. every day. Because growing up, you know, we lived in Florida. By 9 a.m. it was going to be 100 degrees outside. So you were up at 5 eating breakfast. As soon as you finish, you get outside, you pull the weeds in the garden, you mow the grass, you clean the carport, you wash the cars, you come back inside the house, you dust, you vacuum, you wash dishes, you mop floors, you clean the bathroom, you do your laundry, you make your bed, you clean your bedroom. Then you can think about going outside to play or doing something like that. And I've carried that into my adulthood to where I often feel like I have to earn rest. Like I'm not just entitled to it, but I have to earn it. And so who got the body? You know, you don't belong to yourself until you're able to break all the rules, you know.
Man,
And
I feel that. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's a great saying too. You don't belong to yourself until you're able to break all the rules. But I especially feel that, like, so recently I was out of work for a while. I broke my foot, and just not being at work, like, it just made me like, and I obviously also, because I broke my foot, I had to sit down and I had to rest, right? But I didn't feel like I had earned it, you know. And so it was this really hard battle in my mind. You know, I was healing physically, but then I'm going through mental turmoil too, because I'm just in this spot where I'm like, well, I can't fucking do anything, and I haven't earned the rest that I'm, you know.
And you feel guilty. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love that piece and I love the sentiment. And like I said, your award-winning performance, award-winning metaphors, just phenomenal.
Thank you.
If there was a Lost Boys, we should do that. That just gave me a crazy. Sorry, I have ADHD. If
That's
there was
okay.
if there was a Lost Boys award, you would get it. We should start doing awards though. Maybe I'll look into that. We'll start doing awards or something. But yeah, phenomenal. I'm gonna bring these other artists up to see what they thought. I know my man Podcram was going crazy. What do you think, man?
Because I told y'all, like I told you, as soon as he started bringing people down, I was like, yes, it's time. Like I knew what he was getting ready to do with that microphone. Like, when you said tongue size machete with two hands, it was like, bro, when I say that hit me, like that hit me. And it hit me on two different points. Like I remember my mom had a boyfriend, this guy named Eric, years back. He was extremely military. Like I remember him telling me, if it don't grow, pick it up, talking about the yard and things of that nature. And I didn't appreciate none of that then. I didn't like it. I just felt like he was just being a dick. But then I catch myself now saying the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, damn, you know, that's just, and listening to that piece, it really made me look at me like, okay, yeah, there's some changes that has to be made.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal piece, man. But
Thank
I didn't
you.
expect anything less.
Real quick before just because I have ADHD, I don't want to forget it. I heard this song the other day that said, I'm still learning to forgive my parents for what their parents did to them. And that just that it reminded me of that as well, because just we are such a product of our environment and how we've been raised. And I relate to that too, Pakram, of like I'll constantly finding myself saying things to the 5-year-old that like, oh God, I sound like my fucking mother, or I sound like fucking John was his name, or I sound like fucking John, like I fucking yeah. Caleb, what'd you think?
I respect the hell out of that piece. That was not like I was just sitting there and that was a whole vibe. Like I was just like I was so tuned in, and then the story you're telling and the way you delivered it, like the cautious, threatened me type thing. Like that was fantastic. That had me like I was like, okay, I'm locked in. All right, let's go, let's do it. So I would like I'm really gotta go back through this episode because all these people I gotta hear it again. I have to hear it again.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
I'm recording.
Shay, what'd you think? Oh, we'll give her a minute.
Oh my gosh, I think so many
Okay.
things about it. The first thing that I think is the first thing is deeply intellectual, like on a level that most people won't even get or realize, but it's so deep and it's so real. And I love deep shit and I love real shit. So, and that's exactly what it was. Like you're talking through a perspective that most people don't even understand or don't see. And then the way that your wordplay and the way that you did it, it was good. Like I can't even describe how like it is very emotionally evoking. It's real. It's real. That's basically the whole thing I can say. It's like that's just real, and I like it and I loved it. And it makes me want to do long. I have a whole bunch of longer pieces that I could do, but like the way you just went into it and described it was phenomenal. So I admire that.
Thank
and
you,
I
Shay.
respect that.
Thank
Absolutely, yeah.
That's good.
Phenomenal piece. All the snaps and claps and fire emojis. Let me get some fire emojis, people. Phenomenal,
And like,
phenomenal
okay,
piece.
oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I don't interrupt you, but I'm here, in my world, in my own little space. But
You're cutting out a
trying to
little
support
bit.
me because I'm so nervous, and they all admired your pieces, like, saying that they were dope. Links. Thumbs up to everybody because it's dope. You guys You got a lot to
Hell
say,
yeah.
and you say it in a very way to make people listen and want to hear more.
Absolutely, absolutely. And off of what she was saying, I encourage everybody not only to go watch this again themselves, but go send this to your family and friends. Not just because not because it'll get me more views, but because like I was saying, that is the point of the show, is to reach out to people, to help people, to have people relate to what we're saying and what we're talking about. And the more people hear our message, the better, because that's what we're doing as artists, is we're trying to get our message out there and spread it and embrace as many people as possible in our fold. So yeah, go share this with your family and friends. Phenomenal
Definitely. So
Thank you so much. And we'll catch you again in a few minutes for your next piece. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of round number 1 and the beginning of round number 2. Phenomenal fucking guests tonight. Phenomenal, award-winning guests. Just, I am so honored, not just to have these guests on here, but to just be able to do this show in general, and to have all the phenomenal fucking legendary people that I have on here. It's just it makes me feel just so blessed, and this sounds corny. Everybody says it, but I literally couldn't do it without you. This show kind of runs off of guests, and it runs off of just people's emotions and our feelings. And without that, the show wouldn't really be what it is. And so I kind of appreciate what I'm trying to say is thank you for everybody who has come on here and bared their souls and been open and honest, and just, express themselves to the utmost. It makes me feel so honored that you trust me enough to provide the platform for that. So thank you so much. And let's get to our second round. It's going to bring us back around to my man, Cage C over here. What's up?
Oh shit! Excuse me. Wrong time to get on the mic. Fucking, I'm sugar crashing. I've had 3 energy drinks today. I'm fucking trying to. All these like, I'm
Actually, man,
chilling,
I had to go
but
to work today too, and I was fucking.
dude,
I got
I've been
one right
sick with
now.
COVID.
You
Me
got
and
COVID?
yeah, I mean it's passing now. I mean I still got the liquids coming out, but that's about it.
Well, I don't see. I don't know if I've ever had it, because like I got tested for it twice, and both times they were like, "Oh no, you don't have it." And I was like, "Yeah, why do I feel like fucking death then?" Right?
Dude, what's
And
even
then,
more fucked up is
like I don't know if I've ever had it, honestly, because I've felt like
it's
but I've had that. I felt like I've had the flu almost every year, even though I get my flu shot, I still get the flu somehow every single fucking year, and it feels just the same. Like how would I know? How would I know the difference? Like between the fucking,
you
because
can't taste.
the flus that I get are fucking, I'm down and out. I mean, and most people say, I don't know from what I've seen is true, but most people say that sicknesses hit guys way harder, or we're just bigger bitches about it. Because anytime I've ever seen a guy sick, man, he's just fucking, including myself, just done, just fucking absolutely the sniffle, the cot, just fuck done.
It's horrible. It's fucking like you lose like flavor, smell, your hearing gets stupid, you wake up sore for no reason. You could have been sitting there all damn day and your body still be like, nah, not doing it.
Well, I'm glad you're getting better, man.
Well,
Your voice
I'm
sounds
even
good.
vaccinated.
Your voice sounds good. You're spitting pretty good. So
Yeah, I've been practicing for a second so I can have it clear.
hell yeah, man. All right, so what's this next piece you're gonna spit for us?
Trenches.
Trenches. All right, let's get in those trenches, guys. Draw myself out of here.
I've been in these trenches, setting up my defenses. I'm stuck in intermission, waiting to break the tensions. I'll improvise with dirt and mud to bring up my provisions, though. Running through these indecisions, cut my skin like quick incisions. Mad as fuck, I'll blast the room. My voice will lack intention. 999, a mission. Fuck this world, I'm ditching. Hell on earth has me running its circles. I'm like a rat in its cage, or a rat with no purpose. A rat with a rope, I sit with no hope. My pride. This circus has me vacant, confidence plundered like these pirates stole my sight, but I walked in darkness with my hands up, still ready for a fight. Every breath I take is toxin, like this nicotine's no longer working. Anger spits and spews and sadness starts this mocking, like, who am I to you when you sit there doing nothing? Like, who am I to you when life starts digging up these trenches? Who am I to you when these voices are condescending? I hate the way I've been living, stuck inside my head like a dead man walking, soul hung up like a fucking kite. I'm just floating, whispers in the wind, carry my misfortune, torture at its finest. Try to kill a life's existence. I've been in these trenches, setting up my defenses. I'm stuck in intermission, waiting to break the tensions. I'll improvise with dirt and mud to bring up my provisions. Though running through these indecisions, cut my skin like quick incisions. Mad as fuck, I'll blast the room. My voice will lack intention. Do I have your attention? You better listen. What I say won't be mistaken. I paved a path in broken progression. I turned around with good intention, stepped off stone and lost connection. Cut the grass for new direction. Set the slabs toe to toe until I died and frost filled inside. You see, it's just a heart that's cold, a mind of mold, a sign untold, a line unfolds. His mind explodes, his brain is fooled. It cuts in three, each a beast with fangs and teeth that seek corrosion. Eats explosive, hates unfolding, couldn't read. His brain is molding in the dirt. His heart is frozen. Like, who am I to you when darkness has its moments? Like, who am I to you when the world's at its lowest? Like, who am I to you when it rains and starts filling all these trenches? Brain segments are missing, strain stressing the lesions, tamed but not even sane, drained and not even paid. Blood on the grave, his wishes got made. Cages the man, dressed like a maid. Depression's imprintation made an impression. Lay me to bed and sleep to keep me contained. I've been in these trenches, setting up my defenses. I'm stuck in intermission, waiting to break the tensions. I'll improvise with dirt and mud to bring up my provisions. Though running through these indecisions, cut my skin like quick incisions. Mad as fuck, I'll blast the room. My voice will lack intention. Whispers in the wind carry my misfortune. Torture at its finest, try to kill what lacks existence. Every breath I take is toxin, like this nicotine's no longer working. Anger spits and spews, and sadness starts its mocking. Fuck this world, I'm ditching. 999, a mission.
Whoo! R.I.P. Juice World. 999.
R.I.P. Juice World. 999.
Yo, that was fucking phenomenal, bro. The thing that I love the most about it was the performance. That it had the right. You went into the right emotions at the right time. Perfect fucking cadence. I particularly love the whispering part. I wish you had a better mic for it.
Whenever I did that, I realized what I was using. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't do that.
I liked that, and I liked how it evened out the tempo and the flow, and then you went back up into the hook, like it was angrier and more aggressive, and like it was more of a fucking punch. I probably just blew out everybody's eardrums who's listening with headphones. Sorry, but yeah, no, fucking phenomenal piece and just phenomenal performance. And I think I know I've heard that piece before, but I think that you added to it.
Yeah. No, I didn't. No. Well, I mean, I kind of did. Like, whenever anytime I do a piece over, all right, they're all kind of drafts. So I will add little bits and pieces as I'm reading it out loud to myself. Kind of like, so it's kind of like partially a freestyle, but not really because it's written down. But I do add lines while I'm in the middle of it.
You're not allowed to call yourself trash on my show. I'm sorry. Loud. It's not allowed. No, it is fucking. All your pieces are phenomenal. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I haven't heard a single piece by you where I haven't even heard a piece by you where I was like, well, you could probably do better with that. It's not it. Like, I mean, obviously there are different tiers. Like there are some that are just like, and then there's some that are just like, okay, all right, that's par for the course of him. But it's like when your normal level is higher than everyone else's ceiling, it's like you can't really fucking complain. It's like when Eminem releases a record. It's like even if it's the worst record Eminem has ever released, it's still better than 90% of the shit out there. So shut the fuck up.
I swear to God.
You know what I mean? Like, even that revival shit was better than fucking half the shit out there. So fucking shut
I
the fuck up.
swear. Dude he is so technical right now. It's crazy. Like, I mean, he ain't come up with much recently, but all the things he's coming out with now is so technical. It's insane.
I think it was Tyler the Creator say that Eminem is so good that he became so good that it's gross. Like, it's disgusting. Like, it's hard to listen to someone be that fucking precise and technical and like just fucking like, but honestly, man, your lyricism in a lot of ways reminds me of that. Like, it pushes like I was saying earlier, it pushes the boundaries for me of what lyricism is and can be, you know? It really, really fucking does. And a lot of people may say that your shit's not as cohesive as a lot of other people's shit, but I don't see. I think you have to have a twisted brain to be able to listen to it and absorb it the right way. But I also think that art doesn't have to be cohesive, like completely cohesive. It doesn't have to, like, it's the messages you convey and the pictures you paint and the feeling left over when you're done and while the performance is happening. That's what counts. So it's like you were with your earlier piece where it's kind of fragmented into these 3 different segments of your personality, and you're saying that, you know, you might not be able to keep up. It might not be cohesive to you, but like, that's the beauty of art. And I think that, like, it's the beauty of lyricism and the way you do your lyricism. And it just pushes the boundaries of what people, I think, typically expect from lyricism. It's just, yeah, dude, you're one of my favorite fucking artists.
I appreciate you, man. One of these days, I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna actually put together all my music, and I'm gonna see what that looks like. I wonder what I'm like. That would be pretty cool, I think.
Well, I mean, make sure. Listen, if you wanna get ripped, we'll take War and Peace, and we'll tie it to a stick on one side, and then we'll take your book, and we'll tie it to the stick on the other side, and then we'll add a couple dictionaries to the War and Peace side because it probably won't be.
Add a Google link for a thesaurus.
You've got a lot, bro. You've got fucking. I don't think people know how much you've got in the fucking vault. And like, you remind me of Juice. Like, shout out to Juice WRLD again. Juice WRLD's family has been releasing records for the last 3-4 years after he passed. He has like thousands and thousands of songs pre-recorded, bro. And that reminds me of you, bro. You just got him off the fucking. I pulled him out of my fucking magic hat, you know.
It takes me like 10 to 30 minutes, and I'll have a fully completed song written out, depending on the emotion and how I'm feeling at that time. Like, even during, like, I've started at the beginning of your shows, I'll add a verse to a song, just cause.
Bro, I wrote. Let me tell you, I usually take a good week, 2 weeks, take my time, let it bake, let it, simmer, right? Writing, I tried to, now mind you, I had like 16 bars of something already written, and I was like, you know what, this isn't long enough, this isn't fleshed out enough, I want to add to this. So I started adding to it, and I was like, yo, if I want to get this finished by tomorrow's show, it was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock last night. I was like, if I want to get this finished by tomorrow's show, I better go. So I spent all day at work pretty much writing my verse, and like just cashing out customers and fucking scribble. And when I had time, I'd just grab another piece of paper and I'd scribble a fucking line till I filled it up, and then grab another, because the pieces of paper at work that we have are like these little squares that are this big. So I ended up having to use like 10 of them and fucking get it all out. But to like the fact that you can just go in there and again, that's something Juice WRLD did too, is he sat in the booth. Most of his songs are
freestyle.
Hit songs, #1 Billboard billion fucking stream records off the top of his fucking head.
And if he was to
raise the verse, master and mixes and masters it.
And if he was to write, he would only need to write like 3 lines and be like, okay, I know what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, dude. That type of just off the cuff shit is just phenomenal to me. Because like I said, I like to let my shit bake, and whatever. Now this piece I wrote today, I guess, because I only like jotted down 2 lines before I went to sleep last night, and then I finished it today. Man, it was maybe 45 seconds, and it is now almost 4 minutes long. So it is well over 40 bars. Like that I'm certain of. But it was such a crunch for me to write it in such a short space of time, and you're out here like writing shit in fucking half an hour, and fucking I had a 6-hour shift at work today, and I barely crunched it in. Oh, did he freeze? Oh, I think you might have froze. Technical difficulties. We still don't have a screen for that. The fuck, dude? You're the producer. We need a screen for the technical difficulties. Well, he's frozen. I'm gonna bring the other guests up to see what they thought about his piece. Shay, what'd you think?
I just listening to y'all's conversation, it's like I feel it for real, because like you get in a moment and you get in the zone and you can just, for me, I can just get shit out how I'm feeling. But for me personally, like I have insecurities and I'm thinking that it's good, but then when I read it, I'm like, yeah, that's dope. It's real. They can feel it. But as far as putting in the world is something completely different. But his lines and his bars, like I could feel that he was really feeling that shit. Like he was really, he's tired, like tired of shit, and expressing that in a way that's really dope and artistic. And so I respect that. But like with you, how you like sometimes write stuff out real quick.
Oh yeah.
I can always write something out real quick and get it done.
See, that's the thing with me is
it's over, and I never even go back and look at it.
It's hard for me. Like I don't typically go back and look at shit like I did with this piece either. But like, something told me it just wasn't finished, and like I can just get shit up. But then I was talking about earlier, like that perfectionist in me. You know, that perfectionist in me. It's like, oh, it's not fucking dope enough. Like I need to, it's just. And I'll fucking fuck with it all day, and I'll just spend like an hour on this one line to get it perfect.
Yes, that's why my 6-book series hasn't been out yet. I've been working on it forever, and everybody tells me that it's good, and I need to put it out. But I'm like, no, it could be better. I could do this, So I got to get out of my own way sometimes.
Yeah. No, I feel that. I feel that. Pakram, what'd you think? What'd you think of my man Cage?
I like how he bleeds his emotions. Like I like that. I like how he whatever he's feeling, he'll put you in a position to feel however he felt, at that moment. When I heard him make the statement about adding a verse and having to get finished, one thing that I've learned, and this is to you too, Nishay, like one thing that I've learned as far as being a poet, there is no such thing as a completed poem. You just find a stopping point. Like like a poem is never complete because you never know what you may go through a day, an hour, a year from now. That piece may have some type of effect, and you'll add something or take something away. Like the next piece that I'm gonna do was actually 2 pieces at one point in time that meshed. So it's never complete. So don't ever feel like, I have to get this done by this. And no, because a poem is never complete. I don't care if you have a book written, you will always have a reason to add to that piece.
Most definitely. Tariq, what'd you think?
For real.
I'm with you. I really like the consistency of the performance because it was palpable. Right. It's a loaded poem. There's a whole lot going on in there, and you're not going to catch all of it the first time. And so for pieces like that, it's extremely important that you perform it the right way, because even if people can't catch every single line, they can still feel it. Right. They can still feel the thrust and the power behind the actual performance. And I felt the conviction of it. Right. And like I said, there's so much in there. Like I need to hear it again just to catch all of it. But I really like the guiding metaphor of the trench, um, and the idea of doing the work, but then also of being the trench, right? Being that space where all these things are in that need to be excavated.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's something I love that he does is he paints, much like you, he paints a very vivid picture with his metaphors. And something I also love that he does is that he, uh, I try to do this as much as I can too, is he treats every line as as its own piece. Like and that's the way I feel is every single line for me and me and him, we've been connected for a while. We have writing sessions and just chat sessions on Messenger all the time. And so I feel confident speaking for him in this is that he treats every line as a piece in and of itself, and bakes that piece to perfection and really makes it as impactful as it can possibly be to the audience. And that's what makes it so hard to dissect his stuff is because it's like, well, I got to go back and hear that. Oh shit. And then that next line, I got to go back and hear that. And like you got to go back and hear the whole fucking thing and really break down every single line. He just is phenomenal. He's one of my favorite artists. I don't know what happened with his Wi-Fi connection. I'm hoping he comes back because he's kind of my hype man. But yeah, man, phenomenal piece, Caleb. Phenomenal piece. Thank you. That being said, guys, that brings us back to my man Pakram over here. What you got for us?
All right. So this next piece I'm gonna do is called "Healing to Forgive."
Healing to forgive. I like the just sound of that right off the bat. I had an artist on here a couple weeks ago that coined the term healing out loud. And that's what we do here on the show is we heal out loud. And that sounds very in the vein of that. So I'll drop myself out of here and I'll see what it is.
Behind that beautiful smile, I can still see it. I can see the pain of sliced feelings and torn emotions that was left behind from the relationships in your past, the scars. The scars that were left by the emotional assailants, which still generate hurt to the heart nerve endings, has in some form or fashion affected your everyday living. Unhealed wounds that became infected with mistrust and bitterness has undoubtedly pushed away men that claim they can heal all of your sadness with the right bedroom stroke and maybe a little money to show off. But your emotional scar tissue has increased the gauge of your bullshit meter, and you immediately dismiss the simplistic advances of these men. Allow me to wipe the tear that found an escape from your soul's window. The situations you have gone through with men that you thought were supposed to love you was never your fault. In reality, the fault is all on me. You see, from the very first moment that I laid my eyes on you, I knew that I loved you. The peaceful and euphoric feeling that came over me every time you were in my presence confirmed that you were the blueprint to my desires, but I said nothing. Every day was a new opportunity to let you know that our souls were intertwined, that your every exhale was my inhale, because we shared life between us that you didn't even realize yet, and yet I said nothing. So because of your past, you feel it's safer to be alone for fear that the next man will pick the scabs off old wounds and make you pour out the tears that you thought you were most definitely over. You walk around with this beautiful smile, but it's accompanied by a look that still says, please don't approach me. You see, I'm wounded due to men that didn't respect the crown that was upon my head. At that moment, you became my friend. I became your shoulder. A place for your tears to collect when the ones that you thought was definitely the one turned out to be just like the last one, and I still kept a lid on my feelings. Sometimes you go home and try to drown yourself in Moscato only to realize the tears are flowing down your face into the very glass that you are holding. The infected wounds of your feeling sends an emotional virus to your brain, making you question if you even deserve love and that all your relationship failures are all your fault. And what makes things worse, you're constantly hearing negative conversations from friends that are comfortable being side chicks, and for some reason their advice seems to be legit because these are your friends. They'll never tell you anything wrong, huh? Yeah, right. Please forgive me. The heartbreaking experiences you went through was my fault because I knew that no other man would ever be able to love you the way that I can love you because I was designed for you. If you can forgive me, I am 100% prepared to go through the struggles of helping you cover your wounds with an ointment of real love. I will then wrap them in a bandage of security. I will help ease the pain of your past with 800 milligrams of trust that was prescribed directly from the pharmacy of my heart. I will use cotton swabs and irrigation streams of sweet whispers to remove the waxy buildup left behind from the comments of your happily infected side chick friends. You will notice a change in your everyday living. You will notice that the pain of sliced feelings and torn emotions that were left behind from relationships past are healing in a way that can only be remembered if you intentionally dug deep into your memories Rolodex to search for that scar. You have a feeling that you have not felt before. This feeling is something called love and happiness, and it is the antidote for all of your past pains. So I apologize for allowing you to waste time on men that were never meant to be in your life. I apologize for not being confident enough to let you know that who and what you have always prayed for is in me. I apologize for every tear that has fallen from your beautiful face. So I graciously ask for you to forgive me so we can truly start your healing time in peace.
Ooh, god damn, bro. God damn. That was fucking phenomenal. Let me be the first to say that though I suck at writing them, I love poems. And you are undeniably the best I have ever heard at it. If, the best,
Wow.
the best, what would you say? Intimate, because you do erotic poetry as well, but just
Yeah.
anything that has to do with intimacy, you capture it in such an amazing fucking way. Just in such a beautiful way too. And honestly that was an interesting perspective too. But I understood and I related to it. Obviously I don't want to air out anyone else's baggage. But I feel the same way a lot of the time in that my girlfriend is kind of sees things in me or paints things over me that she's experienced in her past. It's not necessarily my character, but it's what she's learned to expect, so she kind of paints this picture over me, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of sometimes find it hard to remind her that, like, it's like, babe, I am not those people. I'm not the one who hurt you. You know what I mean? I'm here to help you. I'm here to heal you. Like, yeah. So I definitely related to that in a lot of ways. And it's just, like I said, man, anytime you write about love and intimacy and just, it sweeps me off my feet. No homo, but it's fucking, yeah, it is fucking just phenomenal, man. It really is. It really
Oh
is.
man.
Just speechless.
And I truly appreciate that. But believe it or not, man, like as far as erotic pieces go, I love it. I love to write erotic pieces. But
Fun.
believe it or not, love, as far as like the actual emotion of love, it's hard. Like it's really hard for me to write about love. Like I actually have a piece that I wrote that says I'm in love with the idea of being in love,
I think I've heard
but
that piece. Yeah.
the actual word is hard to trust, you know, because it's a scout for pain, you know. So love is something that is hard for me to write, but as of late, it's been a little bit easier, essentially.
That's good, man. That's good. You know what? Love is the most powerful force in the universe. I am not religious, but I do quote the Bible a lot because I was raised by a Catholic and Christian family. And I love the quote where it says, and this is just the end of the quote, obviously, but it is faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love, because it really is. It is the most powerful fucking thing in the universe. It's not always good. It has started and ended wars. And contributed to countless murders and what else and whatnot. But it is the most just powerful visceral emotion or force in the universe, and it is like I said, it's very hard for me to write about as well. I have one piece. I have one piece that I have a couple that I like, they're in the vault, but
Mhm.
there's one piece that I actually share with people that where I address the concept of love, and it is I mean it's visceral, and it's kind of it's called all is fair in love and war, and it goes into the like what I was talking about, the relationship between love and hate and love and war, and how they coincide, and how they affect each other and whatnot. But yeah, just as a concept, love is a very, very hard thing to wrap my brain around, let alone write about, and I applaud you for being able to do it, and so
Thank you.
elegantly too. Just phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. Thank you.
Gratitude. Appreciate it.
I'll bring these other artists up and see what they think here. Tariq, what'd you think?
So first of all, I'm right there with you. I don't write a lot of love poems either. I can do erotica all day long, but
All day.
but I do not do a lot of love poems, and I've never really understood that blockage. So there's that. I think it was a refreshing change of pace, like slipping into the love zone, and also the way that it communicates like accountability, especially right now when black men and women seem to be like at war with each other. Um,
Mhm.
so to hear black men expressing, depth of love and sincerity and a desire to heal and create safe spaces for black women, like I appreciate that.
I have a question. I have a question, Pakram. And I just I do want to phrase this correctly though. But I was wondering, so in my experience in the erotic side of poetry, I have seen it been done by predominantly black artists. Do you think they're especially when it comes to the men? I mean, a lot of when it comes to females, I would say it's about equal. But when it comes to men, what I have seen is that not a lot of white men do erotic poetry or are comfortable or good at it or um, what I guess have you seen that? Have you seen that correlation in your? Because I'm sure you're more into the erotic scene than I am.
To be totally honest with you, I've never thought about it until just now when you brought it up.
Yeah, me neither.
Um, I don't see a lot of Caucasian artists doing erotic, but to be totally honest with you, I honestly don't know a lot of Caucasian artists. It's poetry, the poetic community, as far as like my experience so far, it's not always good, not always bad, but the poetic community is real cliquish. So it's like if you know someone and that knows someone, then it's like you can introduce to this person, introduce to that person. So everyone that I know is usually through connections through someone else. You know, so it's like I guess it all depends on who you know to find out who you hear. But I have personally I don't think I've ever heard a white male erotic artist per se,
Yeah,
but I have heard some white women do erotic poetry and
yeah, no,
shit.
I agree, and that's why I was saying, yeah, the women, like I said, it tends to be about equal of, I know quite a few. Most of the women that I know who write poetry write some form of erotic poetry, whether they keep it to themselves or display it publicly. But yeah, no, it just occurred to me because I myself have never heard a white male do anything erotic at all,
Like
and that just, yeah, just,
there's an artist named Rebel. Like I'm not 100% sure if he does erotic, but I believe if you challenged him to do erotica, yeah, he'll kill it.
actually,
Like
you know
Rebel's
what?
a beast.
I do want to correct myself real quick
I
because
think
I
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Oh no, you can. I was gonna say in response to what you said. That's true. Like anybody, like if you're a writer, if you challenge them to write it, they're gonna like, oh yeah, unless they know that that's just not forte. But I don't write erotica, but I know that. I mean, I know that I could if I needed to, but that's not what fuels me. That's not
Mm.
what's passionate about it towards me. What about what you wrote, like just that and that respect and understanding that you get from that partner, and just as a Black female, do like appreciate that. So that's I think that I don't. I mean, I'm not Caucasian, so I don't know. I don't get if it's different, but it's hard, or it can be harder for us to get that type of love and appreciation and respect that we deserve. So to get it, it feels really good. So for you to put it in your poem, my niece was here and I had her, so I had a little bit of the conversation, but I just wanted to add that tidbit. And for you to acknowledge that, like to see that you don't see any Caucasians, go back up. That many Caucasian males talk about erotic poems, it shows that you're about whatever situation. It doesn't even have to be extreme or not. You know what I mean? Like you just see things. And so I just appreciate both of you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
It's
I do want to
it's
correct
pretty cool to talk about these things.
I do want to correct that though,
Okay.
because I just thought of it, and that does pertain to poetry. But I mean, there's lots of songs out there, lots and lots.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
early '70s, '80s, '90s rock, all sexual innuendo, all erotic songs, you would say, and I mean, hip hop nowadays. There's plenty. So I do correct myself there. In the music industry, there are plenty of white males, but in the poetry industry, it is seldom. Tariq, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think the challenge tends to at least, as I found it, tends to be the fact that, like, in our society, sex and sexuality are the things that you're not supposed to talk about. And so many of us are like conditioned to not talk about it and to not know how, you know.
Mhm.
For me, I grew up with a pretty religious background, and sexuality was demonized so much that, my foray into writing erotica came as just a challenge. Somebody challenged me to write some, and I was like, well, why not? Let's try it. And when I did, I discovered it was extremely liberating, to be able to like break that boundary and get out there and say the unsayable, to say the forbidden things. It created a certain kind of freedom to where, like,
Yeah.
talk about this shit. I don't care how y'all feel about it. I know how I feel about it.
Straight up.
And a lot of people, a
Yeah,
lot of
for real.
men
I feel
in
you
general
on that.
can't get past that.
Mm.
And they don't know how to, because when you write erotica, you are literally getting naked in front of people, right?
Exactly. Word
And
porn.
people don't know, they don't know how to
Really.
do that in a way that is not overtly pornographic. because there is a difference between erotica and pornography.
Nasty.
Yeah. Hmm.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
so true.
absolutely.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah, it
sorry to
takes a
cut
lot
you
of
off,
finesse.
but that
It takes finesse.
there's a scene in my book where it's that for like it was the first like sex scene that I had to write, and it felt so weird to me, and I felt so uncomfortable. But it's because of past things that have happened. Like I didn't feel comfortable to express that, but it's natural, and it's when it's between two people who are really consensual and love each other. Like it can be something really good to write. So I did have to struggle with that. So you're right about that. But once I wrote it, I was like, oh, I feel free. I'm dope. It's actually pretty dope. It's real good. And whoever doesn't like it, then that's on them. Like, don't read
Just
it.
one little caveat though, it can be good even if you don't love each other.
And two or more people. We don't judge.
It was only
Man,
two.
like,
As long as they consent. As long as
Yeah,
everyone
like,
consents and they're into it. Yeah.
yeah, we ain't doing no Diddy.
yeah, no ditties.
No
My
Diddy.
sister
Hashtag no ditties.
wants to read your book. She wasn't listening though. It's not out yet. She's it's in the oven baking, and she doesn't know when she's gonna. That's my sister, but she wants to read your book. She wants to read your book when you finally put it out.
Yay! I can send you a few sample chapters. Like it's pretty much done. It's just me, like letting go and just putting it out there.
So she's
So-
15. She's 15 and she's my sister.
She's
So
the
there's
right
certain
age.
things we're not going to discuss, but you can.
You don't want to know,
You can.
No, but she,
I don't know. I don't want to know anything you read. I don't get out of here.
she's actually in the right age group though. Like for real. It's kind of like young adult, but then they move into like grown up stage, like growing,
Oh,
like
that's
life
cool.
stages. So
I like that. And
So,
you know what?
it's
You
a
know what?
six-book series.
That's an interesting concept because you know what I like to see in a young adult novel is at the part when they become, yes, your audience is like Percy Jackson or Harry Potter. Your audience is children.
I
So
love it.
to sell to those markets, you have to keep it PG. But I would love to see a young adult series that just transitions into an adult series and just grows with its audience. And literally, like when they become sick, because when Percy Jackson or Harry become 16, you expect them to start having sex like any other. Or I know not all 16-year-olds have sex, but like but experiencing those things or like
It's normal.
taking on
My son.
just stupid
normal
teenage
part of
shit,
life
spray
and growing.
painting shit, whatever the teenage thing that you're doing is, you expect them to start acting like real teenagers, but because their audiences are PG to market it, they have to keep them like they don't swear. Like you'd expect 12-year-old Percy Jackson not to swear as much, but then when you get into the upper books, you would expect. And I know that in Harry Potter they use like British swears like bloody and that kind of shit, but
Yeah.
you'd expect them to start talking more foul mouth. You'd expect them to be more interested in sex. You know what I mean? As they grow into an adult.
That's true. That's so true. And that's the other thing that inspired me to write my book because I also wanted to see like, yeah, just be real. Like I want to write some real shit. Like there's diversity. Like growing up, I had white, black, Mexican friends. Like we would joke and laugh about everything. But I love young adult books and I love reading and growing up and reading. Like it was like everything was the same. So it was like, I want to write something real. Like I want to write something that probably a lot of people won't like, but a lot of other people would understand and get it. And that's what my book is.
I like what you said about diversity too, because like when I was a kid, I didn't like when you're a kid, and this, I know maybe some kids are more educated than others, but when you're a kid, at least when I was a kid and my other friends, you don't know what the fuck racism is. Like, at least for me, I didn't like I knew, like my mom was very educational. She like what the teachers called adulterized me. And so I guess I learned about it for like earlier maybe than some people, but I just remember like it being a weird concept to me that like other people are treated different, like based on the way they like. It was just such a foreign concept when you're a kid, because when you're a kid, it's like, did that kid's shirt look cool? Cool, I want to be friends with him. Or does he have a toy I like? Cool, I want to be friends with. Like, your brain doesn't. You don't give a fuck about that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And so seeing and I think that you could really play with this a lot in your book, is just seeing the diversity from the eyes of a kid, where everyone is just another kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
And then you can
That's
have
a good
them like
idea.
as, we're talking about, like as they grow up into their teenage years, that start to be more of a focus in their life, and them noticing it more, because that to me reflects real life, in my opinion. Is that, it wasn't until maybe like 10, 11, 12 that I even started to, like, not understand, but like even like be open to those concepts, or see those concepts. You know what I mean? Like I said, like when you're a kid, everything's the same color. You know what I mean? And that's not even just with people. It's like literally everything you do is just like, they don't give a shit. I can give them whatever the fuck they want to eat, and they're gonna like it. Do you know what I mean? Just like, I can make this kid fucking mac and cheese. I can make him fucking whatever, and he's gonna like, because his kid. I can get him whatever toy off the shelf, and he's gonna like it, because he's just like, you know what I mean? And I don't know, not all kids are like that. Some are ingrateful little fucking.
Because my kids are super picky. But in the general sense, like you teach them like what they do. But for the most part, they're just going with life.
Yeah, you start off as a blank slate, I guess is what I'm saying. You start off as a blank slate, and then the people around you and your parents are the ones that draw that slate, and yeah.
I feel that. Oh, I'm sorry, I got you off topic.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, I appreciate you guys' input. And I lost my train of thought. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys' input, and I appreciate Pagram, you doing that piece. That's gonna bring us back to, I believe, you, Miss Shay, if you're ready. Let's see here. All right. Do you have your second piece for us? Hello? Oh. No? Okay. Are you still there? All right, we'll see when she cut.
I'm sorry. Is it my turn?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Is it my
I should have gave you more warning than that.
Sorry.
I apologize.
I'm sorry. I got caught up.
No, you're good.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm ready.
All right, cool. What's the second piece you got?
Okay. It's a writer's dilemma.
A writer's dilemma. All right, cool. Let me get that up on the screen.
I could write a story from sadness in your eyes. It haunts yet admires me. Secret deep inside those sorrows. Let me edit the anguish. So sadness, replace it with the peace I see when you sleep. I want so badly to rewrite your soul story, but alas, to edit and replace is to disguise beautiful chaos. So with intertwined, I gaze into bluish green eyes, like a window to a soul, a tortured soul that feels long and forgotten, but he's loved unconditionally. That's it.
Wow, that is, I mean, for such short pieces, they have such impact and such meaning and such emotion in them. And this one, much like your other one, struck me as just unique in the sense that it felt like a journal entry and it felt intimate. It had that journal entry letter quality once again. And man, I fucking love the editing metaphor. When you said edit the anguish, I was like, whew. And when you followed it up, I didn't quite get the line all the way written down. But it was to edit. To edit is to edit and replace is to erase beautiful chaos or something. That really that really hit me. But yeah, like I said, for just short pieces, you fit so much meaning and depth into your writing. And it's just it's almost like a teaser. Like I want to hear more. And I hope and pray that you'll come back on the show again too. I say that to everybody who comes on the show, but I mean it.
I want to.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you on again. Just message me.
I really like the vibe.
We got all dates next month open. And that's real quick for you guys. The dates for next month, if you all want to come on the show, including you, Miss Shay, are June 1st, June 8th, June 15th, June 22nd, and June 29th. So hit me up if you want to come on any of those dates. For sure.
Okay. We'll do, definitely.
Hell yeah. I'll bring these other guests up and see what they thought about your piece. Pakram, what'd you think, man?
I think as an artist, as a poet, we've all been in a position where we wish we can rewrite someone. Like there's but it's like one of the worst things you ever want to do is piss off a poet, because you will become a stanza in a poem. And
my God.
Like that's one of the worst things you ever want to do is piss off a poet. Like, because that pen is a mug. But on the reverse side of that too, like it's your imagination where you wish somebody, like you wish they were like this, or you wish you can just write it and it just, it was short and sweet. Like I love that piece. Like I really love that piece.
Thank you.
Eminem used to say that if I haven't mentioned you in a piece, I probably like you. If I haven't mentioned you in a piece,
but
that's
the
good
thing. But that's the thing. There's a quote that said, "If what did it say? If you wanted me to better, do better." Like you have, like how Cat Williams said, like you have no control over my story. But for this one, for me, it was just like seeing somebody you love so sad and just going through things, and you wish that you could fix, and you wish that you can change everything that happened to them, but can't. So all you can do is appreciate them, kind of like traditional love type thing. That's kind of what I was going for. But yeah, on the reverse, it could also be that, like, that I could make you change for us to be better, for us to not end up the way that we. So I guess it could go either way. But for my intentions, like I hate seeing somebody I love sad. Yeah, I just hate seeing somebody that I love sad.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
That's all.
You had something you want to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I really enjoyed the sweetness of it. So we've transitioned and gotten to male and female opposing sides of the same coin, and it's really just kind of refreshing to get people who still love people who still love love and see the possibilities for it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, and I would say that goes for both you and Pakram. Just I love that you guys love. It's just it's something that I think that people use the word love too often nowadays. Oh, I love this song. I love this drink. I
Way
fucking
too
love this cereal. Love
I
does.
do love Captain Crunch though.
Yeah.
I do.
All right. That's some real talk right there. That's some real talk. But yeah, no, I think that people aren't comfortable with really exploring the essence of love and really appreciating love for what it is. And you guys do that amazingly and so elegantly. So thank you.
right
That
on.
being
Yeah.
that being
Right
said, guys.
away when I heard his, I was like, oh, I can relate.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun.
When I heard your phone. Oh no, you're fine. I'm sorry. I was just saying when I heard his last poem, I was like, oh yeah, just like a version I'm talking about in my next piece. So I admire people who admire love and just don't around like
Yeah.
somebody you really love somebody and to express it is deep. It's cool.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just
No.
heard.
And again, I apologize. I think it's because there's a delay between my answer and your reply,
Yeah.
or vice versa. So it takes a second, but yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. And again, I appreciate you both for loving love. That being said, guys, it is going to bring us to our last performance. Well, second to last performance of the night. Miss Tariq, sorry, Mr. Tariq. What you got for us, man?
It's not love. Maybe self-love. This is called emotional scoliosis.
Emotional scoliosis,
Yes.
man. As a title, I fucking love that. That is just phenomenal. As just a concept from the grip. That is a amazing hook. So I'm excited to see what it is.
All
Get
right.
myself out of here.
When I walked into her office, hard-hearted and on guard, head hanging low, mind heavy with hurt and my bow and arrow back about to crack like a pipe soon to blow, bent like a too heavy bough about to break because of all the failure fruit hanging from my limbs in need of a trim, my therapist said, "You've got emotional scoliosis." And I looked at her like, yeah, I know this. Because when the world been burdening your back with stacks of impossible issues, eventually your vertebrae start to show cracks. You get herniated disc and vertebral fractures from your lumbar to your thoracic. She said, you were born with a private stash of secrets. And in our infancy, we have a tendency to believe secrets to keep are sacred as good as gold because someone told us something no one else is allowed to know. We are easily misled to believe lies because lack of knowledge causes you to see with empty eyes, manipulated into mistaken appraisals of problematic practices that fill us up like empty sacks so we can carry other people's weaknesses on our still developing backs. She asked me, how long have you been keeping secrets? And I say, from the time my eyes saw my first sunrise. She says, and what do you think such an experience can do to you? And I say, I think it made me twisted. I never had the wisdom to resist it. I think it filled my heart with other people's darkness and crushed my spine to dust. I think it bent my body into a confusing question mark. I think it made it impossible for me to trust that, shit, that I'm a good person. Because how could that be when I've got way too much of other people's painful pathology swimming around inside me? I can see it. Hand-me-down molestation, common Black abandonment and violations swimming inside like schools of koi fish in a black boy pond, teaching me to secretly obsess over all the hidden turmoil I got going on. She said, you've got an abnormal curvature of your emotional spine because you're always walking around with too much shit on your mind. Antique trauma and the drama of a time long gone, moments that left marks to memorialize all the conflict you've known, battle scars. So you're tilted and off center, always struggling for emotional equilibrium, can't find a single thing to celebrate about yourself. So you speak personal patois of self deprecating idiom. I've made mistakes on purpose. I fucked up a few million times. I've hurt people who didn't deserve it. I've done crazy shit birthed out of the canal of a sometimes sick mind. I've been abandoned and abused. I've done the math based on the ways that I've been used, and I always come up a zero. I've lacked safety and security, which must mean I'm so worthless I didn't even deserve a hero. I've been a hypocrite. I've told lies, and most of that shit, I don't even know why. These are the secrets that keep curving my spine, but I want to stand upright. I don't want to keep fighting the weight of emotional scoliosis. I'm burned out. I'm empty. I'm depressed as shit, but everybody knows this. So today I unburden my soul of unnecessary secrets. I acknowledge the toll that it took on the child inside to be asked to hide ugliness and the beauty of his still developing body. Each upsetting event became a secret. A little rain cloud hovering in the blue sky of your brown eye, reflecting the fall season of your inside life. I acknowledge the toll it took on the child inside to have his heart filled with the darkest parts of people who should have been leading him to the light long before he was qualified to fight. When he didn't know that the heaviness that filled his soul was never really his own, it was always the weight of somebody else's sins. Today I speak to my innocence that silently suffered the sentence and pain of other people's problematic conditions, the poison that spread throughout my spirit when I had no agency and no options, no choice but to endure, submit, and listen. Things are different now. And all the secrets I thought I had to keep, I see them with better eyes. Those things should never have happened to me. So to heal the morbidly obese condition of the soul inside, I'm taking better inventory of my self-evaluation, separating the truth from the lies in all my imprinting situations. I'm picking up the pieces of the broken little boy who deserved better protection. I'm calling every fear and anxiety to the table for better inspection. I'm shaking off the weight of all the stones I've stored inside, turning soil into sunlight so my highest vibration can rise, and I rise above the silence of secrets, because today I unburden my soul and straighten my back. I relieve myself of emotional scoliosis and I take myself back home.
Ooh, you got Brandon over here gasping in awe. Fucking phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal. I was right when I said that just the concept of that piece carried it throughout the whole thing, and you just illustrated it over and over again phenomenally. One of the things that I like that you said was you bent into a question mark. Like that was the perfect fucking imagery. Like it and encapsulate that line, I felt encapsulated the piece like just phenomenally. And I also love how it was a conversation between you and your therapist the whole time. Like it was a self-reflection, but laced into this conversation format too. And then you had these both overt and subliminal rhyme schemes that were very subtle, but they were there. And the rhyme scheme wasn't the entire focus of the poem, but like I could as a person who mainly writes rhyming poetry and rap, I appreciated the rhyming scheme in there too. And just, but yeah, overall, just phenomenal piece, phenomenal introspection. And you were right. It is self-love. It is self-care. And you illustrated that especially at the end. I love how it had a very hopeful, upbeat kind of light for the future kind of ending. And that's something, even though I write a lot, you'll notice if you see my pieces, they are all dark until the very end, and I shine a little bit of light at the end of almost every single one of my pieces. There's a little bit of like, it's not all fucking gloom and doom. But yeah, I appreciate that as an ending as well. But overall, man, phenomenal piece. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll bring these other artists up real quick to see what they thought about it. Paul Cram, my man, you're muted. Oh, sorry. Shay, go ahead.
Okay. It it was really thought provoking and kind of tear jerking for me to like consider my journey and everything that I've been on. But it's all I love it because it's like it's dark. That's how it's not always rainbows and butterflies. You know what I mean? Like you talked about the darkness and like he said, the rhyme schemes. I love rhyming poetry. You hit it, but just the theme of that you were talking about, like down life shit, like that's what everybody goes through. Like everybody has a cross to, and you nailed it, like really good. And yeah, I felt it. That's all I can say is just that I fucking felt it. Sorry if I'm cursing too much. I'm sorry.
No, you're
But I
fucking good.
felt it like you.
This is an explicit program.
Okay, but yeah, that theme, everything you hit, but it's also it's like a warrior song because but yes, we can sit in our darkness and we can go through it, process it, but at the end of the day, guess what? We rise up. Like we get shit done. Like we get above all that. So we everything that came against us to try to hold us down. And you showed that poem and I like that. So
kind of like being in the trenches. Shout out to my man Cage. But yeah, kind of like you know. Yeah. Parker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The transparency in that piece. Like February was a really, really hard month for me this year. Like to the point where if things would have gone the way that I was making them go, I wouldn't be here right now talking to y'all. February was that dark and that hard for me. So to hear this piece, like from the title, from the title, it was like, man. And then just to listen to this piece. It's not a lot of pieces that tug at my heartstrings to the point where, because I'm a gangster, will forever be a gangster. But it's not a lot of pieces that'll make me like fight tears type shit, And this is definitely one of those pieces where I literally just had to. I remember at one point I yanked my earpiece out, and it was just like, because everything you were saying, it was like, damn, like I wish someone could have brought this to me then, when I was at the verge of wanting to check out, and it was just that piece. That piece is not only well written, well performed. That piece is needed. It's like the world we live in, especially like that piece is needed. I personally thank you for that piece. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I think you have a great gift and one that I'm trying to develop myself. But when you emotional scoliosis, it's so funny because I always had back problems and I've been reading and researching, and it's like your emotional, however you're feeling emotionally, is trapped inside your body, and it does come out in certain ways.
Absolutely.
So for you to write that piece is like synchronicity for me, and I appreciate that too.
Not only
I
I feel like synchronicity. I feel the synchronicity. I can't even speak tonight. I feel it too. Not just in the sense of my everyday life, but just in the sense of a show. And I feel as if somehow every single time, no matter who I bring on here or what pieces, because we have no theme, what pieces we do, they somehow end up having callbacks to each other or relating to each other in some way. And that's what I love about this show is that, and Tariq asked me before the show if there was any theme, and I told him we kind of just like to let it develop naturally, because we get such this organic whatever it is, it's just so organic, and develops all by itself. And somehow I think it's because when we all get in this space where we're just hanging out and vibing, we vibe with each other and we're on the same frequency or the same, vibration as each other. And so we're kind of all just like in tune. And that's what I love about the show so much, that we can all do pieces planned out beforehand that have nothing to do with each other, and they end up like coinciding with each other. Yeah. But phenomenal pieces, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Stick around to check out my piece, and then we'll get out of here. So before I start this piece, I'll dedicate it to my old secretary, Linda. She approached me outside Shaw's yesterday and basically said that she loves my show. She is always checking in on it. But she wishes that I would write something happy. And I told her I'd work on that. And I told her that tomorrow night, because it was yesterday, I told her tomorrow night I will do something upbeat and happy just for her. And so I took something about 10 to 16 bars that I had already written, and I transformed it into this almost 4-minute long beast that I can barely pronounce. So forgive my performance, because again, I did just write it, and I'm still working on the performance of it, but here goes nothing. This piece is called Manifest Destiny. And it goes like this. Since a preteen, I knew that I wanted it. I've been causing the scene. Yeah, I've been what the problem is. Because I knew that one day I'd fulfill all the promises I made to myself when the pit I was in just seemed bottomless. And I think that this shit right here is how mama wanted it. I'm impressing the people who know what an artist is and rejecting the evil I don't want a part of it. I'm climbing this mountain to get to the top of it, manifesting my dreams while I'm building my confidence and investing in me because ain't no one stopping it. Yeah, I'm turning back into someone that I want to be. I'm going to pick up my pen. I'm going to live out my dreams. Going to give you the truth in the words that I speak while I practice and preach all the things I believe. Changing the world in the way it's perceived with the way I unfurl all these verses and schemes. Because that I believe is the difference between the heathens and fiends and the realest MCs. And I won't ever stop till I reach to the peak. I will get to the top, and that's by any means. I swear on my mother, I know I'll succeed. And I know she's somewhere and she's looking at me, and it's making her beam because she's starting to see me break free and be me like she taught me to be. Somehow she saw past the darkness in me. And I don't know how, but I'm starting to see that sometimes the darkness is harder to breach when you constantly ponder your odds of defeat. Like, I bought the gas for the car, but got rid of the keys, scared that the gas won't release and I'll crash into trees. So it won't ever start and I can't ever leave. And lately it seems like even the train in my thoughts has just run out of steam. I've burnt all my bridges. I can't ever turn back. And I burnt all my bridges. Can't ever turn back. And I stand on a graveyard of trains I've derailed in the past. But I'll stand on this stage till it's fading to black, because I'm training my brain to get back on the track. Learning the skills that I currently lack. I'm going to channel my feelings and master my craft. Going to reach to the ceiling, and that is the fact. I'll be raising the roof like it wasn't attached. As a matter of fact, just call me Atlas and put the whole map on my back. At last I can carry the weight on my lap. At last I can bear all the pain of this mess. At last I can bury the rage. At last I can bury the rage without meds. At last I can handle the hate in my chest. It feels like I'm wearing a plate on my breast in the shape of a shield that's embroidered with S. And I promise to give it my all and no less till I take my last breath. And I'm not the best, but I'm getting better. Bleeding onto my page because my heart's on the sleeve of my sweater. The sweater that covered me through rainy weather. But the wetter the better. I thrive with no shelter. So bring on the rain and the thunder and lightning. There's pain hidden under, but that's what's exciting. It's keeping me sane and it's keeping me fighting. And there's strength that I gain when I put it in writing. But I'm not here for me. I'm here for the people. I'm giving them weapons to fight off the evil. I'm hanging our banner from streetlights and steeples. Take the ghettos and churches and tell them we're equals. Uncover our eyes so we see other people. Our pieces complete other people, and we as a team are the key to defeat all the evil. Let me say that again. Our pieces complete other people, and we as a team are the key to defeat all the evil. What you see on TV is so easy to see through. They sell you peace and relief through the screen but they cheat you. So divided and conquered and blinded, they keep you. That's why I reach to these that's why I reach and I speak to these people, because we need That's why I reach and I speak to these people, because we need to see that us being a people is the least that we need if we're ever to be peaceful. And I could sit here all day and just watch the subscribers go up. I could brag about my team and the work that we've done, but that shit for me, it just isn't enough. I need to know that there's souls that I've touched. I need to know that there's something I touch when I'm talking to you. I need to know that something inside of me lights up the darkness in you. I need to know that there's something you feel when I'm spitting the truth that helps you get through and gives you the power to move when you're dazed and confused and it feels like the world has been weighing on you. So to all the Lost Boys across the land, y'all are my family. I'll never have fans. This is me reaching out to give you my hand. This is us banding together and taking a stand. 1 in a million. That is our chance. But that one is enough because I got a plan. Just don't ever listen when they tell us we can't. And that is Manifest Destiny. What y'all think? Sorry, I fucking fucked that up a little bit, but
you did fine. You did fine. I like it. It's very motivational. Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect ending.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's about as positive as it gets with me. I really tried to go all out with the motivation and that just and I took the name Manifest Destiny and I'm trying to take that back because at least my forefathers used it as an excuse to steal people's land. That phrase, manifest destiny, but in its concept, manifesting your destiny, it is a great concept. And so I'm kind of trying to take that phrase back, and make it mean something else. That's why it's called that.
It was a dope ass piece, and it was definitely different than the other pieces that I've heard you spit. But it was a dope ass piece. I'm listening to it and like I can almost hear like a track. So I'm listening to it the whole time. I'm like trying to like, like yeah, it was dope, well performed. I love it. Great piece.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I try to write all my I write all my stuff.
Good. It's my first. You go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead. Sorry.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say I just try to I write all my stuff a cappella because
that delay is killing y'all.
Quality content. This is all we make. Real quick, all I was gonna say is I just write my stuff to a natural tempo because I write a cappella without beats. But Shay, what are you gonna say?
Same. No, I was just gonna say it's my first time here and it sounded, and the whole Destiny, that's an interesting take. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Like, I like your rhyme, like your poem, like the way that you write. It's really good. And I can't wait to be back to hear more. But yeah, it was good. That's all I was gonna say. That's it.
You.
The delay was killing us.
You're good. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, just thank you for all the feedback. It's just been phenomenal. Again, it's an honor and a blessing to not only have you guys on here performing and have you guys trusting me with, your hearts and your souls through my outlet, but just to have the feedback and the motivation, and it just it inspires me so much to keep going. I can't tell you enough how much it means to me. So thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. That being said, guys, make sure y'all go follow everybody on their TikToks and their Instagrams and their Facebooks and subscribe to them on their YouTubes. And catch us again next Saturday at 9 p.m. For a whole new group of artists. Go subscribe to us, follow us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, iHeart, all that good shit. I left out Pandora, but all that good shit. Go subscribe to us, go follow us, go like us, go comment. Thank y'all so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great week. Peace.
Thank you.